Everyone, so this is another update video on my peace lily growing in water. So I got lots of questions and comments asking or concerns about growing peace lily in water, and one of the most popular question is that they're asking, will a peace lily flower if you grow them in water? So I'm gonna try to answer that question in this video. So here, as you can see, these are my two of my peace lily that I put them in water. The one over here on the left is a regular peace lily that you can commonly find at the store, and this one here is the special or the rare one, the platinum mist peace lily. And I'm sure you can already notice that there's two flowers coming out from this peace lily. So the short answer to that question is yes, it will grow flower when you put it in water. So this one, I got this plant around 6 months ago, and basically almost right after I got it from the store, I put it in water. So this one has been in water for 6 months already, and the flower just came out around a month ago, or maybe even less than that, like around 3 weeks ago. And so just one day, I just saw or realized some white thing coming out from the stem, and I realized that's flower. So I was very surprised and very happy about that. I think one reason is that because it's spring, springtime is here, and actually many of my plants actually is they are blooming. So I guess it's just because the temperature change, it gets warmer right now, so many of my plants start getting flower. But this one I'm more surprised because this is actually the first time I have had flowers from a peace lily. Well, I mean, most of the peace lily, even the small ones that you get from the store, they already come with flowers. But this two over here, when I got them from the store, they did not have any flower whatsoever. And these two flowers just came out like 3 weeks ago. And what's even more surprising is that I did not use any fertilizer whatsoever. So all I did is just put water in this cup and no fertilizer. Um, but another thing I did is put this next to a tinted window. And the word tinted is the key here, because if you just put it next to a regular window, it will most likely get sunburn and die. So peace lily, it cannot have direct sunlight. It has to be indirect sunlight. But this is kind of like an experiment for me because I put it next to a tinted window with direct sunlight. But the tinted window actually protects the peace lily from direct sunlight because it filters most of the sunlight out already. So the tinted window I have is pretty dark, I would say, but it still gets the light anyway. But I'm very happy with the results of what it turns out so far. Again, this is my first time I ever flower by itself, not from the store. Because the store, I think is they are cheating anyway. Because even the very small ones, they have like 6 or 7 flowers, and they use some kind of special chemical and fertilizer just to make it bloom. So I don't even consider that to be legit. So this is it. So you, of course, definitely you can have flowers. You don't even need any fertilizer. All you need is some indirect sunlight, or maybe try next to a tinted window if you want, just like myself. But I recommend a tinted window which is pretty dark in nature. And now let's look at this peace lily over here, the platinum mist peace lily. As you can see right here, there's a flower over here, and this is the only flower and the first flower I ever seen from a platinum mist peace lily. This is a rare kind of peace lily. It's hard to find, kind of like neon green. But same thing for this one. I did not use any fertilizer, and I put this in water around 4 months ago. And back then, of course, no flower. This flower came out around a month ago. So again, it all came by itself, not from the cheating store, whatsoever, no fertilizer again. But this one is even more crazy because I put this one in my room. So basically, my room is a very dark room. There's no windows. Well, there's a window, but I closed my window and I closed my curtain. And the only light source from this room is basically this light, which I only turn on for like 2 hours per day, not even that long. And it's not bright at all. It's not even the sun. And the only other way or the only other light source is coming from the door when I open this. But there's not too much light, natural light coming from the door anyway. So I was really, really surprised to see this peace lily has a flower in it. I couldn't even exactly explain how. I did not use any fertilizer, so all I use is just water, no fertilizer, no sunlight. I just put this in a very dark room and it's still flowers. So it's kind of hard to believe. So yes, definitely. If you grow them in water, it will flower. Um, and at the same time, I also get another question from people a lot, which is if you take the pea seed from soil to water, uh, can you put it back in soil afterwards or after a few months? And I would say probably you can probably do that. Actually, you can do that, I think. I'm pretty sure. But I never did that myself, and I don't plan to do that because why ruining a perfectly healthy peace lily? Um, I mean, it will probably survive, but it will go through another shock. Just the same as when I put this peace lily from soil to water, it also get some kind of shock. So some of the roots died, and of course, it rots, so I have to take out some of the roots, and the growth rate slows down a bit. But right now it's fine. But I definitely not recommending putting something from soil to water and back to soil. Um, I'm completely fine with it growing in water. It's actually more interesting and more fun to grow in water anyway. It's cool to see the roots yourself. It's kind of like a science experiment. So I don't see any reason to put it back to soil, at least myself. I'm not going to do it anytime soon, maybe never, but who knows? Maybe I'm going to do an experiment in the future. But yes, you can definitely do that, but at your own risk. It could die, of course, and it may have a shock, and some leaves may die. That is completely normal, I would say. But do it at your own risk, but most likely it will survive. And one more question I get a lot is will the peace lily actually grow in water? And the answer is yes, of course. When I got this one over here, it was much smaller, or at least smaller than right now. And as you can see, there's some new growth, not just the flower, like even the leaves, there's some new growth. So definitely it will grow. I don't see any reason why it won't grow in water. In some circumstances, it may even grow better. Same for this one and some of my other peace lily. There's a lot of new growth. You can actually check out my another video about how to save a peace lily. That one actually has a lot of new growth, new stems, new roots, everything. So definitely yes, it will grow underwater. I mean in water. Um, no reason it won't grow. It may even grow better in some situations. Yeah, I just think growing peacefully in water is super cool, super fun. You can look at the roots yourself, kind of like a science experiment, and it's tidy, it's not messy, easy to bring around, and no soil. I mean, I would prefer something without soil if I put that in my room. So soil it may always contain like bacteria or even bugs. So I definitely prefer growing them in water. So anyway, this is my update video on this. I may do some more in the future. Feel free to ask me more questions. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.